we have a lot of people that come in and first appointment, right? And they ask that very question, how do I know that I've saved enough? We talk about this all the time on every show that we do. Your situation is going to be completely unique to you, nobody else. So there is no cookie cutter answer for that, right, Casey? Because a lot of it's going to be based 100% on how much you want to spend, right? So if you've got a bigger spend each month, well, it stands to reason you need a bigger bucket to draw from, right? And so, again, a plan is going to help us. Once we know that we've got their basic necessities covered each month with guaranteed income, not what we call maybe income,
right,
but when it's guaranteed, that's going to allow them to then maybe start doing the wants that they want to do in retirement. The needs are taken care of, right? But now we can spend maybe more money to maybe take a trip that we were going to do 2 weeks. Maybe we're going to go for a month now. So many ways, but the answer to how much do they need, every client situation is different.
Yeah, it really is. And, you know, to illustrate that point, we work with a lot of folks in the area from Boeing, right? And many Boeing folks, not all, but many Boeing folks have what? A pension, right? And so their income need from their retirement savings account very well may be less than what somebody else needs because somebody else may not have a pension, right? So it's very situational. And so how much do we need to save for retirement? How do we know that we're good? I think the only way that I can really answer that is to say, when you have a plan that shows you how you can pull the money out of your accounts and gives you that confidence to deal with inflation and market volatility and taxes, once you've got that plan and it shows you that you're okay, that's how you know that you're good. But up until that point, until you've had that conversation, there's no way to know. There's not a magic number for retirement. There isn't. There's not a magic savings number. If there was, that'd make our jobs a lot easier, right?
Way easier.
But ultimately, it's a situational conversation, and it's something that pertains to you as an individual, and it's not something that me and you can slap a number on without having a conversation to understand what the details are of that individual's life.
Yeah, Casey hit the nail on the head. It's unique, right? I can't tell you how many people do come in and they'll have $1 million, maybe $2 million. Some will be above that, but our wheelhouse is Boeing. I love those guys, right? And a lot of them have got $500 to $1 million in their VIP plans, which is their 401k. Problem is now at Boeing, the pensions are gone, right? It's now a defined contribution plan, which is simply a 401k. But a lot of people believe if they get to $1 million, it's like they've hit the lottery and they can stop, right? How many plans do we look at? $1 million, if a client wants to create an income stream, right? Maybe a private pension, because they don't have a pension from where they work now. $1 million with a 5% payout is only $50,000 a year. That's it. So again, 50 might be really good to add to Social Security of a husband and wife with another maybe 30 or 40 grand between them. That might get them to the number that they really need, right? But again, $1 million may be good for some people, but it may not even be close enough to others. And so that's why we got to have a plan, right?
It doesn't buy what it used to buy, right? $1 million is not what it used to be. And whether that be inflation or market volatility or tax rates, and there's a lot of things that come into that. But ultimately, it's not what it used to be. And so again, it's a conversation to figure out what you need as an individual, what you need as a household, as a couple, to make sure that you've saved enough to last as long as it needs to last. And there's so many things that factor into it. And again, if we could just stamp a number on it, that would be great.
It'd be easy. I would love that, but it's not reality.
It's not something that we can do.
And you know, we talk about this on every show that we do. If your situation, if you need more money, you're going to have to save more, right? If you want to spend more, it just takes more. And so again, I know what I want my retirement to look like, and I want to protect my spouse. That's something else we haven't really talked a lot about, is how are we going to do that? If we pass away, we have what we call a widow's penalty. How are you going to replace that income? That's something that matters. And if you don't have a plan for that, then crisis mode's hit, right? Maybe the husband passes away. The wife is thrown into a situation she's never dealt with. How do you replace the income that gets lost? What if that happened with my grandmother on my mom's side? When my grandfather died, he took a life-only pension annuity basically. And he got 6 months and then everything was gone. My grandmother was forced to remarry someone because she didn't have any income except for a small Social Security check. And it was devastating to our family. So again, you need to have a plan for this. I don't want our clients or people that we come in contact through our workshops to ever have to learn from the school of hard knocks, because it can be a really bad lesson and it can hurt tremendously. Like you said, they end up with the pain of regret, and that's a lot worse than the pain of discipline.